Hey there, it's Julie from Plan to Create, and I recently shared a reel showing the setup of what I've done here with my November sub box from Cloth and Paper. And so I just wanted to come on here. I've gotten a few questions about different materials or supplies that I used and kind of how I did things. So I thought it would just be easier to film a video here and refer people this direction. I'm not going to do a full review. There are plenty other YouTube videos out there from some of their affiliates that have listed out the exact supplies that come in this kit, but I'm just going to show you basically the ones that I used. Just thought I would dig in to kind of how I customized it to make it my own and answer some of the questions that I've been receiving. First things first, I kind of knew better when I was doing the sticker thing. I thought, oh, I should film this just in case someone wonders. And sure enough, I got a question. So I thought I would just run through that really quickly here too. I did a little brief story, but this will also kind of explain what I did. In the kit, you receive 4 different sheets. They're all different sizes of stickers. You're gonna see here that I actually trimmed this one down a little bit, and that's because I wanted to nest it right in there against the binding to get that one row of stickers here on this side of the Roman numerals. So what I did is I basically just used this line right up here that this book belongs to, has a line under it, and I just lined the stickers up as best I could and then kind of figured out where I wanted them, you know, between this way and that way. And I just used this basically as a stencil. So I took the sticker off and then I just kind of watch and see like where they lined up, place it on there, and just repeated that process. This one I actually took all the stickers off, lined it where I wanted it, and then just plunked them down quicker, you know, so I kind of figured out from my own mistakes of going back and forth, back and forth. But super easy process. I'm not trying to make it sound more complicated, sorry if I am, but just using those kind of as a stencil to where I wanted to lay, you know, underneath this vellum was really slick because you could see below it. So the stickers are on top, and just thought that that added some nice pop to that. There was a different page underneath this. It was a darker page, and I just kind of wanted to keep mine more on the light bright side. So I went through and I just like scissor cut. I thought I was gonna try to save it. It ended up ripping. So I just took it out and threw it away. But I did try like carefully scissor cutting between each of those and prying it out. But like I said, it did rip. So I just went ahead and got rid of it. So that's kind of my cover. And then the next page up here, you get this really nice overview, and I love to look through the next year and kind of see like what months are crazy, what months are calm. I did put this little page flag here from the kit. They include these arrow flags, and I just grabbed one of these guys and stuck it there because just in case I want to like refer back to that quickly and easily, I can kind of see that little tag sticking out and find that spot. So next up, I've mentioned on Instagram, I'll mention it here, that I am not going to be using my half-letter discs in 2024. And that's becoming more and more of a solid statement for me. First I was like, oh, I might not. Now I'm not going to. I really feel like I need a break from them for this year. There's something that I've been designing for myself, and I just explained to Tracy on Instagram DMs, like, there's something about, you know, pouring all that creative energy into the design itself, and then I really don't feel like I have a lot of leftover energy to use towards, you know, the fun embellishments, I guess you could say, or just kind of customizing it, you know, for myself creatively. And so it was just so refreshing to walk into a book that was already structured for me. And you know, maybe it's not perfect. Maybe I would just design something slightly different, or maybe I don't need a bill section, but there's something about creatively addressing that issue that I just had a lot of fun with. Like, hey, let's, you know, maybe not focus on that, draw our eye here. Let's focus on the things, the areas that I do want to use. But having said that, I have certain things set up in my half letter that I've really enjoyed this past year. And I had a page like this right at the front of my book where I broke out the year into quarters. And my husband and I love to sit and visit and think, like, what are our dreams? What are our plans? What do we want to do travel-wise? What do we want to do for our home? And we just make a little tab here for all of those things, and then we just kind of try to space it out so that it's not like everything hits at once. We haven't yet met for 2024. We've kind of brewed some ideas, but I haven't officially really talked it through. So I put down a couple of things, and these are basically things that will require some budgeting and some funds, you know, so we want to make sure that we're spacing it apart. We want to make sure that they're funded well in advance, and this just gives us an opportunity to kind of brainstorm and think through those things. So I was really excited to do this page. And as I show you the page, I'll just try to show you the materials I used. These are the little page flags. They are called Champagne, and I feel like they match up really nicely with my N89 Tombow, which is one that I'll be using in this planner this year. I also have pulled the crepe And because I will be also using my N79 marker in this planner as well, I think that these colors, I think that they're kind of a fun combination. I felt like I used this as an inspiration, and this actually goes a little bit more green. Like in hindsight, I'm like, could have used a little bit more of my Kerri color, but I chose to use my Dijon ink, which is what you see used here. It's a little more yellow. The stickers are themselves like slightly more green. So I may kind of swap it out and check out Kerri, Dijon. I feel like they're kind of interchangeable, but this 026 marker kind of works with either or. You'll see that I can take this little flap out. I used that marker to make these highlighted spots. So the colors are not exact matches, but they're close enough. Without going into too much more detail on that, I just wanted to show you the stamps that I used here. And this is a font from Kerri Bradford Studio. She has like a variety of sizes. I think she even has maybe a larger, like this size 6x8 stamp with these numbers. So they'd be even bigger, which I don't have, and clearly I need to go purchase. But these are the ones that I used primarily throughout. And unfortunately, these are not available in her shop, and I don't think she usually restocks once they're out of stock. So my apologies, I'm not really thinking of that when I'm doing this. I'm just going for the aesthetic that I like. But these are available, the smaller ones, and then this is the XXL numbers. But like I said, she has an even larger one, I believe, that's called her Jumbo. So I used this, is like this size. The rest of these were actually there. But then this little alpha is awesome too, and it could be kind of interchangeable, especially if you didn't want to take up quite as much space with the numbers. These are just some transparent page flags. They're circles. I don't actually know which company they're from or which color. I took them out of their packaging a while back, and I don't know the answer to that. You can find them in different places, but if you're shopping through Cloth and Paper for this kit, that's a good spot to find them. So that covers that. Here you're gonna see I just used those same Madeline alphas to just kind of come up the side. I just wanted to point out that this is not going to be like another planner per se for me. I am planning to use the little Crafective planner for my main planner for 2024. But this one, I really wanted a place to serve two purposes. And so first of all, I want to do a better job of tracking some of my goals. My friend Rebecca from Eat, Pray, Plan has been raving about the Makse Life Club and just kind of sharing some things that she's learned through it. I'm strongly considering joining it as well. But she's really shown me that, like, when I think of goals, I typically kind of freak out because I'm like, well, I don't know. I don't have any goals. But she said that Sierra, who I love, the way she breaks it down, it's very manageable, very tangible, and very practical. It's not necessarily like, climbing Mount Everest this year. It's a little bit more like little small things that might make you move into the direction of the person that you want to be. That I can get behind, and so I am excited. I really want to do more of that in my life, and quite frankly, social media is one of the things that I feel like I end up, I'll make lofty goals of like, I want to produce this many videos or this many, posts or reels. And quite frankly, that's one area that I can work in, but when I only focus on that, I burn out very quickly, and it fails to address the other areas of my life that I need to also be working on. So I'm calling this kind of my balance the whole person goal process, and that's kind of what I'm hoping for this book to be. Is something that week after week kind of keeps me aligned with like, oh hey, don't forget this area. Hey, make sure that you're staying in check and in balance. And so that's kind of why I want to use this planner, and that's what I'm planning to do. Which brings me back to this page to say, like, I'm not sure how I'll use it yet. I have marked off some dates that we have things going on, but again, I don't want to use this as like a planner per se, because I just want to do that in my other planner, and I do not want to duplicate myself. So we'll kind of see. The monthly is, still up for grabs, but maybe as my goals kind of solidify, I can use this to track those in a different way. So we'll see. Here, I would like to use this as a space to do my overall yearly goal planning. So I did already do kind of some specific work into January, and you'll see that this has 6 sections, and I do believe the Makse Life has 8 different categories. So each month I will probably like pick 6 that I want to focus on, but here I would like to do overall 2024 and do all 8 categories and really brainstorm through that. So that's kind of, I'm saving space for that. I've gotten really used to having a little tab at the bottom of my planner to find my current week, and I generally just use these little post-it tabs. They're available on Amazon, and I like to use those. They last for a while, and then I replace them with a new fresh one, so they're pretty hardy and they're pretty sturdy. I like those. So on my weekly pages, you're gonna see that I took those same 6 categories that I had on my monthly overview, and I just went ahead and wrote them here on the side. And I plan to do a little bit more of a weekly focus on like, hey, I have my goals now, what do I need to do this week to reinforce those? And that's something that I don't take time to do regularly in my regular planner. So I feel like this one is going to be that go-to space for this. And this will be a big challenge for me. Like, I'm honestly, like, I could definitely procrastinate on this because it kind of makes me nervous, but I think because those goals are tangible, because they're not like out of reach, that I am looking forward to doing this. So I have this sticky note here that was also in the kit. I just cut it in half because I didn't need all of the space. But I was kind of brainstorming, like, that's what I want to do with the grid side. What do I want to do here? I'll tell you what I do not want to do. Guess what? I don't want to rewrite my schedule because I don't feel the need to duplicate that. So what I will try to do is like maybe a 3 best things of each day, or like a gratitude, or I keep a creative journal, but I'm generally not working like day of in that. I typically am working backwards a little bit, more like memory keeping. So this would be a nice spot for me to like, hey, don't forget to include this story, to just jot those notes. So this could aid in my memory keeping. It can keep me on my goals. And then I've kind of set apart this space here as a weekly review area. And I can ignore the check marks and the lines if I don't need them. I can make nice big sentences or do whatever I need for this space to be. So that's my thought. I think I covered all of the materials. The only thing I didn't kind of mention is that I was, let's see, I clipped this here instead of, you could put this, it says this month, you could put it here in the middle of your month. I don't always like to fuss with that when I want to write something here. I don't want to have to flip it over. So I kind of like the idea of having it here at the overview page. This page is one that I'll be referencing more. And then from here, I just clip to the cover. And I felt like that was nice. I don't necessarily need to reference the whole yearly view. I mean, I could occasionally. I don't think I need to very often though. I glued together some pages. I think that there was, there's a couple pages in there and I just didn't feel like I would reference them, so I actually glued them together. So hopefully they're not like notes pages. That would have been a good 2024 overview for all my goals, but instead I'm using the notes of January. So we're making it work. That's the biggest thing. I think that any planner you're working in, find ways that make it work for you. You know, like I don't want to track my bills right here. I will either white that out, I will write over it, I'll figure out a way to use the 4 columns. But just because it says that doesn't mean I feel locked into it. And I mean, the goals here, that obviously kind of spurred an idea for me. But I really like the idea of using the little page flips because it kind of gave me a place to get some ideas off my head, but I'm not entirely locked in. If something else comes up, guess what? I take that out and I can rewrite them. So I like things that are a little bit flexible. Obviously, these sticky tabs over here remain flexible as well because if something changes, we could move it to a different quarter. It keeps it kind of fluid, but also gives us a place from which to go, you know? Like we have a certain direction that we're heading in until we have to switch to a different direction. Typically, sub boxes from Cloth and Paper are available like for subscribers only. I do believe, at least for a limited time, probably, I don't know how long or until they sell out, this whole kit is actually available for a separate purchase. It is a little bit more expensive, I think, than if you were a sub member, which makes sense for, you know, the perks of being a sub member. But if you're really super interested in something like this, I will link it below. And yeah, just thought I would kind of answer some of those questions that I've already been getting and have a place to send people to for more information. All right, guys, thanks for watching.